At 2:47 in the morning, my truck radio picked up a station that was broadcasting tomorrow's news. I was 40 miles out of Cedar Falls, hauling freight on a stretch of highway so empty that the static had the road to itself. I'd been fighting sleep for an hour when a voice cut through the white noise, clear as a man sitting in the cab beside me. "You're listening to K-Line 88.3, it said. "Now, this evening's news." I didn't know any station called K-Line, and hearing an evening bulletin at 2:47 a.m. was strange enough. Then the voice read the date, and I nearly drove off the shoulder. It wasn't tonight's date. It was tomorrow's. I told myself it was a prank, some college kids with a transmitter and a bad sense of humor. I reached for the dial. Every frequency carried the same voice, the same bulletin, like the whole sky had become one radio. The anchor moved on to traffic, and that's when the road went cold. "On Route 9, near mile marker 212, he said, a white semi overturned in the eastbound lane. The driver, a man in his early 30s, was pronounced dead at the scene. I drive a white semi. I'm 32. And mile marker 212 was 4 minutes ahead of me. I flicked the radio off, and the cab went quiet. 10 seconds later it came back on, softer, like it had been waiting for me to stop pretending. The driver is slowing down, the anchor said. He's gripping the wheel at 10 in 2. He's looking at the clock on the dash. Every word was true, and I was doing all of it. I pulled onto the gravel shoulder anyway, and I screamed at the radio to shut up. The voice stopped. Then it said my name. Not my company ID, not my call sign. My name, the one on my birth certificate, pronounced slowly, like a man reading a headstone. Here's what broke me. I knew that voice. The way it dragged the R in my name. The way it swallowed the end of every sentence, like it was tired of talking. It was my voice. I keep a recording of myself from a work log I filed last spring, and I'd know it anywhere. The man reading tomorrow's bulletin was me. And he knew things no one could know. He mentioned the worn coin in my pocket, the one my grandfather gave me. He mentioned the dent in my fender I never reported. Then he reached the final story of the broadcast, and his tone changed. The driver will be found at 6 in the morning, he said, sitting in his idling truck, unharmed. The radio will still be on, reading this same bulletin to an empty cab. Because the man reading it won't be there anymore. I don't remember turning the key. I remember gravel spraying, and the mile marker passing, and the radio going silent the exact second I crossed 212. No wreck. No lights. Just an empty road and my own breathing. The thunderstorm came at dawn, right on schedule, from a forecast dated tomorrow. I made it home. I slept. I told myself it was a dying battery and a tired mind, and for one whole day I almost believed it. Last night I drove the same route. At 2:47 the radio came on by itself. The voice was mine, but older. Tired. You made it, it said. Good. Now listen, because there's a part of tonight's broadcast they cut. It told me what the news never says. It told me tomorrow isn't written down anywhere, that someone has to read it out loud to keep it honest. And it told me why the bulletin keeps repeating. Every night, a version of you hears this and pulls over, it said. And every night, a version of you doesn't. The voice went quiet, and I finally understood what it had been warning me about. It was never the wreck. It was the loop. The radio crackled, and somewhere up the road, ahead of me in the dark, I heard my own voice begin to read the news again, telling a man in a white semi that he's already dead. That man is me. I'm still driving. The station is still on. And I'm already late to warn him,